Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Global Hotspots. I'm Adam, and today, we will dissect a seemingly simple statement that, in fact, holds immense geopolitical significance. Trump expresses frustration with Russia and Putin after a heavy attack on Ukraine. From friendly to frustrated. A seemingly minor shift. Yet it carries immense weight coming from former U.S. President Donald Trump. This is not merely news about an emotion. It is also a powerful signal reflecting the pressure the Ukraine war is exerting on global leaders, even those who once held the softest stances towards Russia. To understand this better, let's analyze each element of this statement. First, regarding the subject, Donald Trump is not an ordinary figure. His stance on Russia, particularly President Putin, in the past often went against the U.S. political and security elite. He had previously made statements perceived as quite favorable towards Putin, even questioning traditional U.S. alliances like NATO. Therefore, any change in his attitude is certainly worth our attention. Second, regarding the action emotion, expresses frustration. The word frustration here is very important. It is not condemnation, indignation, or a call for action. It implies a state of disappointment and discomfort with an undesirable or uncontrollable situation. This choice of wording may indicate a shift in Trump's personal perception, but it still maintains a certain distance from the traditional hardline stance we often see from other politicians. Third, the target of the frustration is Russia. Both Russia and Putin. The direct targeting of both the Russian state, and specifically President Putin, indicates that Trump clearly acknowledges the responsibility of the Kremlin and its leader for the current actions. This is noteworthy because, previously, Trump tended to separate Putin from Russia's negative actions or attribute blame to other factors. And finally, the context motivation after heavy attack on Ukraine. This is the key element that triggered this frustration. It indicates that the level of brutality or scale of a specific attack has crossed a certain threshold. Even for a figure like Trump. This suggests that Russia's military actions, particularly the heavy attacks, are causing serious consequences not only on the battlefield but also in shaping public opinion and the attitudes of key political figures. So, how is this statement situated within a larger context? First, the history of Trump-Russia relations throughout his presidency. Mr. Trump continuously faced accusations regarding an unclear relationship with Russia. His expression of frustration, now after years of conflict, is a notable point compared to his previous stance. Second, the Ukraine war and global pressure. Russia's full-scale war in Ukraine has caused a severe crisis. Most Western nations have strongly condemned it and imposed sanctions. Even the least critical voices against Russia face significant pressure from public opinion and allies to express a clearer attitude. And third, the U.S. domestic political context. As a leading Republican presidential candidate, all of Trump's statements are closely scrutinized. A large segment of the Republican Party holds a harder stance on Russia and strongly supports Ukraine. This statement could be part of an effort to adjust his image, or reflect a strategic shift to better align with this voter bloc's views, or at least to minimize the risk of being perceived as soft. On a geopolitical adversary of the U.S. now, let's delve into a multi-dimensional analysis of this statement. Political analysis regarding Trump. Is this a strategic shift or a genuine emotion? Frustration could be a sincere reaction to the brutality of the war, or a political calculation aimed at repositioning himself in the context of the upcoming election. It helps him avoid being labeled as pro-Russia, while still maintaining differentiation from the Biden administration. However, this wording is quite vague, not committing Trump to any specific action. It allows him to express dissatisfaction without fundamentally changing his previous views on U.S. foreign intervention. Geopolitical analysis regarding Russia and Ukraine. For Russia, Trump's expression of frustration could be seen as an additional negative signal. It indicates that even potential voices that could soothe the relations are being swayed. However, it is unlikely to immediately alter Russia's military course. For Ukraine, this could be a small positive signal, showing sympathy or at least an awareness of the gravity of the situation from a figure who could shape future U.S. policy. But it does not provide concrete material support. An analysis of media and perception. This headline emphasizes that even the heaviest attacks can cause shifts in the perceptions of key figures. It contributes to the general narrative of Russia's isolation. Trump's frustration can also be interpreted differently by media and political opponents, as evidence of inconsistency, or as a sign of awakening. So, what can we predict from this statement? In the short terms, this statement may partially alleviate some criticism against Trump regarding his stance on Russia within the Republican Party, but it is unlikely to create an immediate change in U.S. policy or on the Ukrainian battlefield. In the longer terms, if Trump returns to power, this statement could be a hint that his policy towards Russia and the Ukraine war might be more complex and nuanced. Frustration may not lead to hardline actions, but it will also be difficult to return to a friendly state as before. This indicates the unpredictability in Trump's diplomatic approach. In summary, the headline "Trump expresses frustration with Russia, Putin after heavy attack on Ukraine" is not merely a news item but a valuable cross-section revealing many aspects of the current geopolitical landscape. It shows that the brutality of the Ukraine war can impact the stances of even the most divergent figures. Trump's frustration is not a full condemnation or a commitment to action, but it is a sign that the pressure from ongoing events cannot be ignored, even by those who once seemed immune to it. Russia-US relations and the future of the Ukraine war remain a complex unknown, and this statement is just one of many factors shaping their trajectory. Thank you for tuning into Global Hotspots.
See you in the next episodes.